Hey guys, it's Vanity Ezel back with Carpe Vanguard as on the Vanity weekly reviews. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and so this time we have more stuff covering DZ set 8. Of course, with Wirbel Dragon already getting a new ride line, which both makes me so happy that he got a ride line so quickly, and yet so infuriated because we have other decks like Spider Marquis and Hamvalid and the likes that never got a ride line, but hey, is what it is. Let's get the start, shall we, and see what we got. Also today we have Lianorn and Ormanagazio cards, so there's that too. Anyways, first up we have Knight of Mutual Congratulation Ravisto, grade 1 boost fact, it should AK base. Again, I say it follows the theme of really cool looking cards in my opinion, with this one being a Musketeer, having the generic skill that is shared across every single deck, which has the ability to bot deck a non-sentinel normal unit to give it plus 2k. It's not bad, but man, they always waste the cool arts on such iffy skills like 2 of tech, and you're only running it just to see the artwork. That takes us over to Induction 5-11 or 5-22, not 222, just 2. I don't know why Bushy does this with the weird card names. I understand why they do, it's just weird. And it's great to set 5k shield, 10k base, continuous guard circle. This unit gets 5,000 shield for every 2 different card names among set orders in your order zones. So for your decks that want to have multiple set orders, for example, the bat thing that wants to have multiple set orders and order zones at the same time, well, that's a lot of extra 5k shield going on to Induction. It's not a bad grade 2 to have, and it can genuinely be split around like a lot of, if not all, the Brand K decks, because most of them, with the minimum exception being Nordlinger, have at least 3 set orders that have different card names, so easy way to get 5k shield. So it's a solid like 2 over 3 of. You don't want more than that, but it's still pretty good to work with. That takes us over to our new ride line for Wirbel and his also support cards. First up, we have Lizard Soldier Jisen, grade 0 boost, 5k shield, 6k base, auto royal upon second draw card, standard starter, nothing but free draw if he goes second. I think it's really cool that he has Jisen as his starter because it's kind of remnants of not Undu but Conroe from, you know, the canonical Overlord decks and Kagero. Like everyone knows Conroe, and it just feels like a Conroe thing, which makes sense because Wirbel Dragon is supposed to be a descendant of Vortex Dragon. So pretty cool that Jisen here is the starter. Then we have Demonic Dragon Mage Joku, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, auto wrote upon by Drag Ritter Azabal, energy boss 3 to draw a card, give your Vanguard 5,000 power. Cool. So you get a free 3 energy every turn, so using that 3 energy for the turn to end up drawing a card, so you don't have to worry about energy blasting 7. And not to mention the fact that it gives the Vanguard an extra 5k on top of that, so therefore even if you don't call a booster behind the Vanguard, automatically a 15k shield is at best a 1 to pass. All around, Joku is a really good grade 1 to have as a ride deck. I do like her skill. I think it's actually unique because it does take the energy into account, so it gives you hand cards and gives you Vanguard 5k, so it's a nice 1 of in the ride deck for me. That takes us over to Drag Ritter Azbal. Great turn 5k show, 10k base. Just more references I want to point out here. This one is the Madoka, I think her name is. Its original card was a grade 1 boost and 6k base, and its skill was every time your opponent's rear guard is retired, it gets plus 3,000 power. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it was in Kai's deck, and if it wasn't in Kai's deck, literally every generic Kagero player that used it in the anime did have it. So whatever that card was, that's what I think it is. And then this is obviously a reference to Dragon Knight in Harlem, if anything else. Great turn 5k show, 10k base. Mind you, he looks badass as all hell, and his dragon looks cool as well. Auto when wrote upon by a grade 3 guard card, Wirbel in the card name, choose on your Vanguards, and the cost of all that unit's original auto abilities are reduced by CB1 for the turn. So cool. It basically gets rid of the Vanguard's restand cost, which is great, so you can restand it for free that turn. And if you found a way to give it a second auto ability before you rode into Azbal, then cool, that auto ability would also be free. So all around Azbal, very good grade 2. Most of the time I do hate it when like they just change the cost of skills, but the grade 1 of the ride line is actually really cool here, and this does actually benefit the deck because there are a handful of cards that use CB, so I like having this as one of them in the ride deck. Moving on, we have Constricting Bullets of Duststorm Iberis. This is the most archetypal support card I've ever seen Bushy print on the sole factors of. One of its skills is so generically good, and it's only existing because it can use that skill of Wirbel. Grade 1, boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Continues to your Vanguard's a grade 3 grade with Wirbel in the card name. It gets all the following. If your Vanguard is not a Wirbel, these next 2 abilities don't exist. Auto when placed on rearguard circle from the hand, energy charge 3, and you cannot activate the activability of your energy generator on the turn. Downside, you don't get to use your energy boss 7 to draw a card. Upside, this gives you a free use of Wirbel. That is not a once per turn, and the only stipulate to this is it has to be placed from hand, so you can't cheat it out like Drag Ritter or Tifa. Trust me, I've tried. Either way, though, being a free 3 energy charge of 3 and then automatically triggering Wirbel is good. And then auto rearguard when it boosts anything, it gets 5,000 power for the battle, regardless of what your okay, obviously your Vanguard has to be Wirbel, otherwise the ability isn't gained, but still being able to be a 13k booster regardless of who boosts is great. But if you boosted a grade 3 or greater unit, not a Vanguard, unit with Wirbel on the card name at the end of the Soul Boss won't stand this unit. God forbid they found a way to do this, but if they ever did find a way to stand the Wirbel rear guards, automatically Inbrand is good. Actually, even better, if you sack Walnut on your Wirbel, then because it can boost any unit that's a Wirbel, automatically you have 2 column restanders, the Vanguard one and the side one that got the Walnut ability. Ilbonas is a very solid grade 1. Restand itself not on once per turn, so if you end up sacking Drake Veda on the Vanguard one, you could restand this unit twice, and again, it's a little on-place free Wirbel skill, so easy 4 in a Wirbel deck. They knew what they were doing with this card. And then we have Drag with a Bishara, Great Turn SF 5k shield, 10k base, auto inputs on rear guard circle, choose a grade 3 card with Wirbel on this card from your right deck and you may reveal it. If you reveal the card or your Vanguard's a grade 3 grade Wirbel, counterboss 1, choose opponent's rear guard, mark it if you didn't kill something, draw a card. Cool, it's a simple CV1, mark a rear guard and you get an extra hand card if you don't kill something. That's great because Wirbel, while yes, obviously being able to kill off stuff with the Energy Blast 3, it wants to end up getting power off the Energy Blast instead. So you can use Bishara to kill 1 extra rear guard, and if you have to waste energy on Wirbel skill to kill a rear guard, at least you should have an extra 3 left over to give the Vanguard plus 10. And then continues rear guard. This unit gets 5,000 power for every Energy Blast 3 paid of cost for the active ability of your grade 3 get a Vanguard on the card name this turn. So if you paid a total of 6 off the Vanguard's ability, it gets plus 10. If you paid a total of 9, it gets plus 15. Arm Bishara is pretty solid because her power stack increases every single time you pay 3. And well, if you went second, and on top of that, you have a bunch of freaking embarrasses in your hand, you're going to basically stack Bishara with full numbers. And if your opponent doesn't have a PG ready, they're probably taking Bishara and or the Vanguard, and you're probably stacking crits out the wazoo. So 4 copies of Bishara, amazing grade 2, kills the rear guards by simply being placed, and on the fact gets power literally every single time the Vanguard uses ability. So yeah, easy 3 of, if not a 4 for me. Then we have Drag with a Nilum, so we now have a generic card for Dragon Empire. Grid on boost, 5k shield, AK base, auto inputs on rear guard circle. Counter boss 1, check the top 7 for literally any single grade 3 card, doesn't matter if it's a unit or an order. Reveal a player to hand and shuffle your deck, and if you do not reveal a card, countercharge 1. So you either get a hand card or you just straight up shuffle your deck. Cool. And then continues rear guard circle. If your opponent's rear guard was either retired that turn or bound this turn, get 5,000 power. That card is so good because literally every single Dragon Empire deck either retires or binds, and it's specifically retired by any means, not retired by card effects. So if you just want to ram something into a rear guard, or you want to get real old and play set 2 Dragonic Overlord who forces your opponent to take an attack if it's attacking the rear guard and just guarantee this thing gets a 5k, go ahead. Downside is her 5k doesn't stack unlike Bishara over here, but it's still a generic free 5k just simply by something leaving the board. So 4 of Nilman. Great grade 3 generic search card, good numbers. That takes us over to Steam Fighter Idnam, really cool moon in the background. Great turn stuff 5k shield, 10k base, auto put on guard circle. If you played a blitz order during this turn, Soul Boss won't give a plus 10,000 shield for the battle. I know that the, what's it called deck, one of the decks in Stoic, that's the name I'm drawing a blank on, the Scaria, is supposed to be the blitz order deck, but it always felt to me that it was supposed to be Dark States on the simple grounds of Bruce got a blitz order before anyone else. He actually got 2 blitz orders featuring his artwork. Greedon had the selfish thing, the grade 2 one that has like a golden Greedon on it. Like, and overall, Dark States in general has a lot of blitz orders. I feel like it was more natural for Bruce to get a blitz order made in grade 3, but here we are with Celcera existing, and then for some reason it went to the Scaria, but it is what it is. Then we have Delivery Tabby. Grade 2 SF 5k shield, 10k base. The fact that this card is not inherently a Rotovisor card boos me because it literally has the background of a Rotovisor card. Anyways, auto rear guard when this attack hits Energy Blast 3, choose any order from your drop zone, add it to hand. This is a nice generic card that if it existed back in, I don't know, the first few sets of Vanguard for D, I think it would have been good. Obviously, we'd have to change the Energy Blast skill because obviously Energy didn't exist back then, but I think it would have been like a nice generic card because it has on-hit pressure and recycles an order, which a lot of Brain decks do. In this case, you're not really running it outside of the fact that you need generic pack filler because you don't have enough money to buy better expensive cards, which is Combine Pressure, so 2 of if you choose to run it.
And on to our final reviews for today, discussing both of our Amina Good Ezel and Lianorn cards. First up, we have Petty Tiglet, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, a support card for Amina Good Ezel. Auto placed on rear guard circle from the hand, choose a grade 3 card Amina Good Ezel in the right deck, and you may reveal it. If you did reveal a card or the Vanguard is already a grade 3 or greater Vanguard Amina Good Ezel in the card name, counterboss 1 to search your deck for any trigger other than the over trigger, reveal it, put it to hand, shuffle the deck. Okay, it's weird that it's just a CB to search a trigger, but again, Amina Good Ezel is that deck that wants to bind a bunch of different triggers to lock down on your opponent's triggers and screw over their guard power. So I think it's pretty cool that Tiglet can just basically get you a free trigger, especially because the Owl, the grade 2 of the ride line, can already get you another free trigger. So this pretty much guarantees you will have 2 different triggers in Soul by your first grade 3 turn, and most of the time you'll have a third one just by normal drawing it anyways, and possibly even a 4th one. So this thing can technically, in theory, hard trigger like 4 binds in one go with Petty Tiglet. So it's not a grade 1 you want too many of, because again, after a certain point it does become a vanilla, but I think it warrants like a 2 of tech. And again, it's nice because it just gets you a trigger to hand, so worst case scenario you can just use that trigger to defend yourself with later. So it's just a little 2 of. That takes us over to the reason Amino Grizio is going to get a deck profile this week, and that, or not this week, when I do deck profiles, and that is White Out Wirbel, a 3-headed, cute-looking white wolf with a full moon in the background. There is no reason Amino Grizio is not getting a deck profile this season. Anyways, grade 1 boost 5k short, 8k base, auto, soul. When your grade 3 grade of Vanguard Amino Grizio and his card name is placed during your ride phase, if you do not have a rear guard or the same name as this card, soul boss 1, call it to rear guard circle. Cool, so you can't soul boss itself obviously because it has to call itself from soul, but being able to superior call itself when the Amino Grizio Vanguard is placed during the ride phase specifically is great, because Amino Grizio is that deck that way you want to constantly swap back and forth between the OG and the mask, and not to mention the fact that you can send it to soul via the mask skill and then just superior call out the next turn, or if you end up soul charging it off the crow, well, there you go. And then auto when put on guard circle, when put from rear guard circle into the soul by the ability of your grade 3 grade of Vanguard Amino Grizio on the card name, choose one of your units, give it 5,000 power on turn. If your binds on is 2 or more different trigger types, energy boss 3, draw a card. Cool, so it gives someone 5k. Doesn't matter if it's the Vanguard or maybe a rear guard, because you swung with the Vanguard first because you wanted that restand immediately. So, you know, one of your rear guards is going to have a booster now. So you can give that rear guard 5k, and then you can spend 3 energy to draw a card. Alright, up Volbris, very solid grade 1. Unfortunately, it's not something that's like super big and flashy, but you know what? It superior calls itself. It gives someone 5k, and it gets you a draw, and it's a cute dog with 3 heads and a white moon. So yeah, look forward to the Amino Grizio deck profile this season. Then we have Love, Fortune, Maiden, Lively, grade 2 instead of 5k shield, 10k base, continues guard circle if your vanguards are grade 3 grade Lianorn, and if you have 1 or less or more grade 1 or less rear guards, this unit gets 5k shield. But if you have 3 or more grade 1 or less rear guards, it gets 10k shield instead. So essentially having a Lianorn vanguard and 1 or less rear guards with the grade 1 or less, it's 5k, it's a 10k shield. But if you have a full back row of them, or you know, you just have 3 or more grade 1s in general, it becomes a 15k shield. Not bad, and it's remnants of, what was his name, Ontero, the Bond Protector Musketeer from the end of G, where like it's skill based off of how many different rear guards you've had, and there was only one number that it didn't get shield from. This is that card. Literally the only time it's not getting shield is if you have 2 specifically grade 1 or less rear guards. Anything else auto triggers us, the deletes get 5k. So honestly, Lively is not a bad card for Lianorn. I don't think they need it though, but in the case of where they did need extra shield, it's just all a 2 of tech. And finally, we have a card I think is really cool. I didn't read all its skill, but I saw the words Lianorn and Magnolia, and I think it's great that they're sharing support, considering, you know, how Ura and Megumi are friends in the anime. And that is Honest Rendition Sireta. Grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. Auto, when discarded from your hand during your ride phase, choose a grade 3 card of the Lianorn or Magnolia as card from your ride deck and may reveal it. If you revealed a card or the Vanguard is a grade 3 grade of Lianorn and Magnolia, Soul Boss 1 or Energy Boss 3, draw a card. Cool. It uses one of your 2 resources that both decks kind of barely use and kind of do use a lot in terms of Soul in order to draw a card. So pretty solid that you can use energy for that as well. And then Act Drop Zone, if your Vanguard's a grade 3 grade of Lianorn or Magnolia, and your opponent's Vanguard is also grade 3 or greater, bot deck this card and choose any one of your rear guards that's original power becomes 15k until end of turn. If you're Persona around that turn, that unit's original power becomes 20,000 instead of 15. Honestly, not bad, because in the case of Lianorn, well, it pumps up your booster that might restand, or pumps up your attacker that might restand again because you're on Vavece. While for Magnolia, it pretty much pumps up, let's be honest, it's going to pump up the bear, that's going to get more triggers, and it's going to be pumping up everything else. And the best part is, it makes the base unit's power 20k, meaning you can still get power from other things, such as Persona Rides or triggers. Aron Sereta is a very solid grade 1 support card. Again, I'm really impressed that it's for both Magnolia and for Lianorn, since again, you know, the bond between Megumi and Rara exists. So I think it's not something you want a lot of copies in both decks, but it's a very solid 3 of, because again, setting that bear to a 20k base is just really good. And for Lianorn, well, Vavece multi-attack exists. So 3 for me. Now, that's it for this one. I hope all of you guys enjoyed. Next week, I have no idea what we're getting, but I will see you all then. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join for Twitch, and don't forget to set up your Vanguards.